Look at this stack of pancakes. Today we're gonna make gingerbread pancakes with a spice syrup. This just smells and screams Christmas. First, we're gonna get started on making our spice syrup. So in a medium saucepan here, we're gonna start with a cup of maple syrup. And then we're gonna add all our spices. We have a cinnamon stick, a half a teaspoon of ground ginger, a quarter of a teaspoon of ground clove, a quarter teaspoon of cinnamon, a quarter teaspoon of ground nutmeg, okay, we're gonna let this simmer while we make our pancake batter. While our syrup is simmering on the stove, we're gonna mix our dry ingredients first. We have 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. We're gonna do 1 tablespoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and then all our spices again. So we have a teaspoon of cinnamon, teaspoon of ground ginger, a quarter teaspoon of ground cloves, quarter teaspoon of nutmeg. Oh my goodness, this smells like Christmas in here. Quarter teaspoon of salt. We'll just give this a little toss. It smells delicious already. Okay, so we'll leave this on the side, and now we have our wet ingredients. So our wet ingredients, we have 2 eggs. I'm gonna do them first, make sure there's no shells, just like that. See, you wanna put those on the side. Okay, next we have a cup of milk. We're gonna do a quarter cup of molasses. Oh. I'm gonna whisk that together. We have 2 tablespoons of melted butter and a teaspoon of vanilla. Wow, lots of spice in this one. Whisk this together. This is perfect for Christmas morning or the whole week of Christmas break. This smells so yummy. So now that we're gonna take that, we're gonna mix to our dry ingredients. You just wanna whisk this together and make sure you get all the lumps out, and the pink batter is ready. Now that our pancake batter is ready, we're gonna go to the stove to cook our pancakes. So now we're gonna make our pancakes. Nice hot pan. You can make them any size you like. I'm gonna use a ladle here. Look at that stack of pancakes. Looks amazing, smells so good. I have our syrup here. I'm gonna discard our little cinnamon sticks. And I'm gonna stir in 1 teaspoon of vanilla into our syrup. And now I'm gonna pour this on top slowly, just right before serving. Looks so good. Oh, don't fall. I'm actually gonna use a cinnamon stick for garnish here. And these pancakes are ready. This will be perfect for Christmas morning. For the full recipe, visit nikkigleckis.com, and don't forget, like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and check out my Amazon store for some of my favorite products. today we're gonna make these beautiful, delicious Greek traditional cookie Melomakarona. First step in making our Melomakarona is to first we're gonna make our syrup. So our syrup is 1 1/4 cup of water, 2 cups of sugar, and 1 cup of honey. So we're gonna cook this until our sugar dissolves. And then we're gonna let it cool so that we can get our cookies made. The key for all of these Greek cookies that we've made before, when we make baklava, when we do halaktoburiko, when we make all of these cookies, you always want either the syrup hot and the cookie cool, or in this case, we're gonna do the syrup cool and the cookie hot. So that's why we'll make our syrup first. Now that our syrup is cooling, we're gonna get ready to make our cookies. So I have lined 2 baking sheets with parchment paper and I preheated the oven at 350. So first steps over here, we have 2 cups of olive oil. So in a nice big bowl, I'm gonna put 2 cups of olive oil. I'm adding a 1/2 cup of cognac or brandy. And I'm gonna add a 1/2 cup of sugar. And I'm gonna whisk this together just so that the sugar can dissolve. When you're whisking this, you could see when the sugar's dissolving, you could see that it's actually soaked up all the olive oil. So now you're ready for the next step. You wanna make sure that you get all of that well incorporated. Now we have 1/2 cup of orange juice, and I'm gonna take 1/2 tablespoon of baking soda. And I'm gonna add that to our orange juice. I'm gonna put it right on top of our mixture. Okay, you're gonna see that fizz up. See, fizzy. So I'm gonna add that to our mixture. And then I'm gonna add orange zest. So we're gonna do orange zest of 1 orange to this. Perfect. Next, we're gonna take our dry ingredients. We have 5 1/2 cups of flour right here. So to our dry ingredients, we have 5 1/2 cups of flour. We have cinnamon and cloves. So I'm gonna do 3/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon and 3/4 of clove. Toss this together. Okay, perfect. So now we have dry and wet. All ready? Now for this, we're gonna use our hands. So I've cleaned my hands, no rings, all my jewelry's off. And we're gonna add our flour slowly to this, and we're gonna to do it with this hand, and we're gonna mix it together. So I'm just mixing it just gently with your hand, and I'm gonna slowly add the flour. This cookie, you don't wanna use a mixer. You really need to just be gentle with this and get all of the olive oil to soak up the flour, and you'll see it's a delicious cookie. It's actually not that hard. Just gotta prep all the ingredients. Now we're just gonna fold the flour in. You don't wanna overmix this. We're just gonna fold it until we have all of the dry ingredients incorporated, and then we're gonna be ready to make our cookies. So now we're ready to make our cookies. So if you have a small scoop, that would be helpful so that you can make them all the same size. I have a serving spoon here. I wanna see the right size here. So if this is a serving spoon, that is about the right size of our cookies. So we're gonna take that, we're gonna roll it circle and then oblong. like that. It's great to use a measuring tool so that way you can have all your cookies the same size. So I'm rolling out all my cookies, and I was telling you before about a measuring tool. If you have a scale, a kitchen scale, another good tip would be for this recipe that I gave you, measuring out 1.5 ounces of the dough, and then that way all your cookies will be exactly the same, and then we're gonna roll them out. This gives us exactly 3 dozen. So now that we've rolled out our cookies, exactly 3 dozen, we're gonna use a fork, and we're gonna do it just a little bit. You're just gonna pinch the top of the cookies in a three rows like that. And then this, we're gonna do this right before it bakes. And what this does is it also helps when you put it into the syrup, it's gonna help the syrup soak into the cookie. So, and it has a little design too. So we'll do that. So now we're popping them in the oven, 20-25 minutes at 350. So while our cookies are cooking, now we're gonna make the topping that's gonna go right on top of the cookies after we put them in the syrup. So we're gonna do walnuts, cinnamon, and sugar. So this is 2 cups of walnuts. We're gonna put in our food processor. We're gonna do 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and 1 tablespoon of sugar. We're gonna mix this up. That's it. So now our walnut, cinnamon, sugar mixture is ready. I'm gonna put this in this bowl here. So when our cookies are ready, we're ready to assemble them. So we've taken our cookies out of the oven and they are actually hot still. You could see the nice, beautiful golden brown color on the bottom. And we have our cooled syrup. So I have an assembly line here, our hot cookies, our cool syrup, and our walnut, cinnamon, and sugar mixture. And so I'm going to take our cookies now and I'm going to drop them in the syrup. You can use a spoon if they're too hot, but you want to drop them in. They need about 30 seconds on either side. You want them to soak up, or you could just drop them down. You want to soak up the syrup. Perfect. So we're gonna let them soak. So it's funny, this is a traditional Christmas cookie. You know, every Greek family makes this one. My mom used to make tons of these. She would make them ahead of time and store the cookie part, this cookie, and store them earlier in December and right before she was about to, you know, give them as teacher's gifts or to other family or whenever we had people over, then she would drop them into the syrup. So in that case, you would have a cool cookie and warm syrup. But these are always a delicious cookie to have around and they smell amazing. So we're gonna take these out. I'm gonna leave them on the cooling rack here. And I'm using a slotted spoon to take them out of the syrup just so that I don't waste any of the syrup. So I'm just gonna repeat this until I have all the cookies on the baking sheet. So now that we've dipped all our cookies, I'm gonna take our cinnamon, walnut, and sugar mixture and put it right on top. Oh my goodness, these look amazing. And you can of course serve these without this on top if you have any allergies at home. I have, these cookies are not staying in my house today because my kids can't eat these, but they are delicious. Now we're officially ready for Christmas. For the full recipe, visit nikkikleckis.com, and don't forget, like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and check out my Amazon store for some of my favorite products. Today we're gonna make this easy chocolate truffle recipe. And I love chocolate, so I'm gonna steal one. to get started on making our super easy chocolate truffles, perfect for the holidays. We're gonna start with chocolate. So I have chocolate semi-sweet morsels, about 8 ounces, and a half a cup of heavy cream. So we're gonna take our heavy cream to the stove so that we can warm this up. So in a small saucepan, I have half a cup. We're gonna pour this in, and we just wanna warm this up. We don't wanna bring it to a boil, but we want it to simmer. So we wanna see like little bubbles around the edges. So see how this is simmering? There's little bubbles all over the sides. That's when we know it's ready. So we're gonna take this off. So we have our chocolate morsels and our hot heavy cream, and I'm gonna pour it on top. Perfect. And I'm gonna let it sit 3 to 5 minutes because we want the chocolate to start melting, and then we're gonna whisk it together. So now we're gonna take this and we're gonna whisk this together. So now that our chocolate is melted, now you see that consistency once all of the chocolate and the heavy cream. Combine that. It's gonna be nice, silky, smooth mixture. Perfect. And now we're gonna take a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm just gonna add that. Look how easy that was. Perfect. Now we're gonna cover this with saran wrap and put it in the fridge for 1 to 2 hours. We want this to firm up so then that way we can roll them into our chocolate truffles. So I've taken the chocolate out of the fridge. It's nice and firm, you could see. I'm taking my rings off because now we gotta roll them. So I have, if you have a small scoop at home, I have a melon baller, so I'm gonna try that. So we're just gonna take a small scoop of it. And this is very messy. I'm just gonna roll it in your hands a little, like this, to make a little ball. We're gonna have some cocoa powder. I'm gonna put it in the cocoa powder, and then to make these little holiday truffles, I'm gonna take some red sanding sugar. Just roll it in the cocoa. Perfect. Let's try some of these sprinkles, holiday sprinkles. So now that we've rolled our holiday truffles, they look awesome. We're gonna stick them in the fridge. We need them to cool and just get a little bit more set before serving. Our beautiful holiday truffles are ready. They look amazing. I can't wait to try one. For the full recipe, visit nikkikleckis.com. And don't forget, like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and check out my Amazon store for more entertaining products that I love to use. Today, we're gonna make this pull-apart cheesy garlic bread in the shape of a Christmas tree. Can't wait to try this one. Nice ooey cheese. Get started on making our pull-apart cheesy garlic knots in the shape of a Christmas tree. So festive and fun. We're gonna start with making our garlic butter. So we have half a cup of butter. We're gonna add 4 minced cloves of garlic, half a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese, and 2 tablespoons of fresh parsley. We'll chop this up. Add that to our mixture. We're gonna put this in the microwave to melt. So we've melted our butter mixture here. I'm mixing this together, and I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil, about a tablespoon of olive oil. Nice shine on our pizza dough. Mix this, and we're gonna leave this set aside. Okay, so that's on the side. Now we need our mozzarella squares. So we're gonna do mozzarella cheese. You can also use mozzarella sticks and cut that in. We need about 30 small little pieces of mozzarella cheese. So we have mozzarella cheese here. I'll leave that on the side. And next, our pizza dough. So you can get pizza dough at the market. I actually took pizza dough from our pizza place, so I have one pizza dough here that I'm gonna roll out. I wanna roll this out. And we need 30 squares, so we're gonna roll this out to cover our entire cutting board. Now we're gonna take a pizza cutter and we're gonna cut out into 30 squares. Now that we have our 30 squares, we're gonna take our mozzarella cheese. We're gonna take one in the middle of each one of our little dough, and we're gonna roll them, cover the entire mozzarella cheese. Take a little flour, roll them, and you're gonna make the 30 little balls. Now that we've rolled out all our little dough balls, we're gonna take a lined parchment paper baking sheet. I preheated the oven to 375. I have this little one as my giant one. We're gonna use that as the top of our tray, and we're gonna start assembling. The part that you closed, the mozzarella cheese, put that on the bottom. Now that we've arranged our Christmas tree shape, we're gonna take our garlic butter mixture here. We're gonna brush this on top. Next, we're gonna take this and we're gonna pop this in the oven at 375. Look at that ooey gooey Christmas tree. It looks amazing. You could see the cheese is starting to come out and they are nice golden brown color. So I'm gonna put this down on we're gonna use this cutting board for serving. So we're gonna take parchment paper here. I'm gonna slide it. Look at this beautiful Christmas tree. We're gonna take our rest of our butter garlic mixture, brush it on top. This is a must-have for your next holiday party. Everybody's gonna love it. And we're gonna take a little marinara, put that right here for dipping, some rosemary for garnish, little sprigs of rosemary around it. And this tree is ready to be served. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. For the full recipe, visit nikkigleckis.com. And don't forget, like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and check out my Amazon store where you could purchase some of my favorite products. Today we're gonna make a holiday favorite, fun, festive reindeer chow. We're gonna get started on making our fun, festive reindeer chow. We have Chex Mix here. So we're gonna do 5 cups of Chex Mix. Perfect, we'll put that on the side. I love to make these kinds of things during the holidays. This is one of my kids' favorites that they can make themselves. So I put here our Chex Mix, and now we're gonna have our chocolate. So we have 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate morsels. We're gonna do 1/4 cup of butter to help that melt. And we're gonna add some peanut butter. So we're gonna do 1/2 cup of peanut butter. This is an easy recipe that you can make and have the whole month of December. And you can put it in a plastic container and it's ready for the whole season. Although I don't know if this will last in my house more than a couple days. So we're gonna put this in the microwave. We're gonna microwave it in 30-second increments until it's all melted together. So you want your chocolate to be melted all the way. And then my kids love vanilla, so I'm just gonna add a little vanilla. This is optional. I'm just gonna do a teaspoon. We're gonna pour right over our Chex Mix. Take some tongs. Mix that until all of the Chex Mix is covered with the chocolate. And next we're gonna take a Ziploc bag. Ziploc bag, we're gonna put 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. We're gonna add our Chex Mix to this. Close this up and shake it with the powdered sugar. Take a bowl here. Once it's all coated with our powdered sugar so it looks pretty and snowy, I'm gonna pour that right into this bowl. Look at that. Completely covered in our powdered sugar. And now you can add any festive toppings you want. Today I have mini M&Ms and regular size M&Ms. Oh, how'd that orange get in there? Get that out. Red and green today. We're gonna do a little sprinkles. Festive sprinkles. You can add whatever you want. I'm gonna add some pretzels to this too. Give that a little toss. Some more sprinkles on top. And this is ready. Delicious and ready. Put a little more on top for that. For the full recipe, visit nikkigluckis.com. And don't forget, like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and check out my Amazon store where you could purchase some of my favorite products.